Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to do a deep dive into two crucial but often overlooked Windows power management settings, the minimum processor state and the maximum processor state. These settings control how your CPU scales its performance from idle to full load, impacting power consumption, thermal behavior, and system responsiveness. Whether you are an IT pro, system builder, or a power user looking to optimize performance and energy efficiency, this video is packed with detailed technical insights and practical tips. So let's get started. The minimum processor state defines the lowest percentage of your CPUs for maximum performance that your system can use when idle or under tight loads. Technically, it instructs Windows and CPU's hardware power management to allow dynamic frequency scaling down to its minimum performance level known as P state. For example, a minimum of 5% means the CPU can throttle down as low as 5% of its maximum frequency, saving power and reducing heat. This settings mainly affects idle behavior and low demand scenarios, balancing power saving with keeping the system ready to respond. The maximum power state controls the upper limit to which Windows can scale your CPU frequency when the system demands high performance. Setting this to 100% allows the CPU to reach its full maximum frequency, including boost or turbo modes. For example, if your CPU's maximum clock is 3.5 GHz with turbo boost, 100% means Windows allows it to run at full turbo speeds. Lowering these settings below 100% restricts the CPU from reaching the turbo frequency and caps it at a lower maximum clock speed. For instance, 99% disables turbo boost on many CPUs, locking the CPU at base clock speeds. This can reduce power consumptions, heat generation, and fan noise, but may slightly reduce peak performance. So here is the balance that we can try with Windows to maintain using both settings. The minimum processor state sets the floor, how long the CPU frequency per voltage can go when idle or lightly loaded. Maximum processor state sets the ceiling, how high CPU frequency or voltage can go under heavy load. Together they define a scalable performance windows like between minimum, that is idle, and maximum, which is called as the peak CPU capabilities. Windows dynamically adjusts CPU frequency within this range based on current workload and power plant preferences. So let's get into the practical inspect and used cases. For example, when you are running your laptop on battery and you have set the minimum processor state to 5% and maximum processor state to 100%, this maximizes the battery life by allowing deep CPU throttling but full peak when needed. If you are using a desktop and you want a good cooling, a minimum processor state between 5 to 15% and maximum processor state of 100% balances idle power saving with full potential peak performance. You can have different scenarios like overheating or thermally limited real-time audio video production server or always on workloads. So you can tweak the minimum processor state, maximum processor state to get the stability and performance with minor power saving that is possible. So let's see how to configure this minimum and maximum processor step by step. So first, go to your control panel and then look for power options. Select your active power plan like by clicking the change plan settings, and then you have to go to the change advanced power settings. Look for processor power management. Expand the minimum processor state and set on battery and plug-in values as needed. Then expand maximum processor state and set the values on battery and plugged in settings to the value as needed. Once these steps are done, click apply and then OK to save. You can also restart your system, which is optional to ensure that all changes takes its effects. So why adjusting maximum processor state below 100%? This lowers the maximum processor state but disables the CPU turbo boost modes on many processors, capping CPU operations at base frequency. Benefits include reduced power consumption, lower system temperatures, and quieter fans. Downsiders are a reduction in peak CPU performance and potential slight performance loss in busty or demanding demanding workloads. For example, setting maximum processor state to 99% on laptops is a common tweak to reduce CPU temperature significantly with minimum visible impact on everyday tasks. So what we have concluded, minimum processor state manages idle or low load CPU scaling that lowers the values, load CPU scaling with lower values, save battery and reduced heat. Maximum processor state controls the peak CPU frequency that is set at 100% allows full turbo, lower caps, save power but reduce peak performance. Tuning these values lets you balance power consumption, heat, noise and performance tailored to your workload and hardware. For most users, leaving the settings to default like 5% to minimum and 100% maximum is optimal. Advanced users can tweak this for specialized scenarios. Thanks for watching this deep dive into Windows CPU power management. And if you found this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop your questions and power management tips in the comments. See you in my next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.